Hey Ravinder, Daphne here. Lovely to hear from you. I'm so sorry about your whole IELTS situation. That sounds very difficult for you. Also very hard if your husband's kind of not quite sure about it. He probably sees you're exhausted and it's expensive and you're working so hard. That does make it much harder. But so let me make sure my feedback is as helpful as possible, and I won't be so long so you can kind of watch this quietly and quickly. Okay. People used to live in the same city throughout their lives. Now they change where they live several times. Okay. Cause and positive or negative trend. I really like these two-part questions because yes, cause, yes, positive, negative. A lot to say here. Opportunities, globalization, absolutely. Trend, yes, and yes, and leaving their family behind, absolutely. So globalization has changed the lifestyle of people in every corner of the world as compared to earlier times, meaning that individuals are moving from one place to the other more often. So you need to connect these ideas. Globalization has changed things, yes, and the result of that is that people are moving from one place to the other more often. This change has brought many benefits. Present perfect here. It's not finished. So remember, unfinished time, people are still moving. You've got to have the present perfect. Has brought many benefits to people who want to explore different cultures and standards of living. Absolutely. This essay will use examples from the Indian government and Times News, capital letter, remember, to demonstrate the cause of this movement and prove it's okay, good. Now, you've given me content here, different cultures and standards of living. Yes, brilliant. That is content. You're telling me something. Just give me something on this, positive or negative trend. Yeah? Living, though, as a development, that's another word for trend, it may not always be beneficial. So give me something here to recognize that you're going to talk about that. And because you're going to prove, okay, if it's positive or negative, but you want to just put a little bit of doubt in there at the beginning. Okay? Nowadays, everybody strives to, yes, in a career, and sometime before getting satisfaction, they have to move. Okay, everybody. Now, everybody. Let's be a bit more specific than everybody. Okay, nowadays, many professionals or professional workers or employees strive to achieve success in their career. Be specific. Get the marks for the vocabulary. Think about everything giving you a mark or a point. That's not very exciting. This is better. Career. And sometimes, I would say, I kind of get what you mean. It's not wrong sometimes, but I would actually go often. Before getting satisfactory results, they have to move to many places. Okay, have to move to, or you could have, are obliged to relocate to larger cities or busier environments. So think about the vocabulary. I know you know this. This is just because you're a bit out of practice. Yeah, so rather than places, a bit boring. Yeah, here. It's the same as we did there. In the past, communication and transportation modes were not well developed. Therefore, people were scared to leave their comfort zone. Good. Okay, comfort zone, leave their comfort zone and families behind. I'm just going to bring that in. For example, a study by the Indian government showed that, 40% more people moved. Okay, right, okay, so therefore, we need a little bit, one more sentence here. Therefore, the advance in technology and transport have significantly impacted on the ease of mobility. You need that sentence to relate your example back to the question. That is super important. So each paragraph there has to have that final little sentence to connect the example back up to the question. Think of it like a circle, the paragraphs moving in a lovely circle. There are ample benefits of changing. Living out. Changing the living place. The living place. That doesn't sound right, changing the living place. I'm going to put changing locations several times instead of being stuck in one place. Good. And then you're not repeating place. One could make himself familiar with living standards of different cities. One could make himself. Let's change this. Let's go becoming familiar with. Get it into a verb. One just seems a bit strange. Becoming familiar with the living standards of different cities could eventually result in finding the best one, okay, or could lead to finding the best one for a long-term stay. It could also help people to remove cultural barriers and become part of society. Okay, good. So why is that a good thing? So why isn't this good? Yeah, a bit more. For instance, comma, don't use these little hyphens. For instance, extensive study shows that when a person moves. So let's cut down on person and people. Yeah, we've got lots of person and people here. Let's change. Who are they? Be more specific here. It's easy to do. It's probably that they would meet someone with different cultural religion than their own. However, okay, so is that a good thing or bad? You need to tell me if that's good or bad. However, could be expensive. Absolutely, yes. So just a little bit more on the balance of that paragraph. This paragraph is well balanced. That paragraph needs a little bit more content, and you need to spell it out for me a bit more. In conclusion, is making people roam. You don't make people to do something. Making people roam from one city to another, but decreased. Absolutely. It might not be a good economical approach, but benefits absolutely predicted. Good. Really, really good. I love that conclusion. Very nice. You've summed up your ideas very well there. What you haven't given me, though, is your opinion. Do you think it's positive or negative? So I believe. So you've got to have your opinion in here for the full marks on the task achievement. Okay, so lots of little things in there. I know you can do it. Just kind of remind yourself. This is getting you back into it, into the groove, we say. Just remind yourself some of those little things that you need to remember. But good essay, well done. I like that. So, studying art subjects at a university. Okay, linguistics, philosophy. Yeah, so your comparison, we don't know the date here. We've got number of people, so we're going to be comparing. I think they're very difficult, these, when they have a lot of words. It's really hard. You kind of just want something really short, HAAD, rather than having to write more. Now we're at university. Okay, in the UK, 2011. Yeah, okay. Overall, the largest portion of, studied, whereas philosophy, capital letter on all the subjects, always in English, was least preferred. Excellent, good. In detail, terms studied in classical literature, while the number for male was slightly less. Media studies, was second and third, only difference of 10. Less interested, okay, not i.e. at, around, okay. Whereas, yes, good. I was just looking for that connecting word. Lovely, well done, that's fantastic. Art and design. was the only subject that had more male compared to females. Okay, you're using the word had. You've got studied, which is fantastic. So you could have registered, recorded. Yeah, so think about that sort of vocab. Try and get some marks on vocabulary as well, compared to females. Whereas you've used that once, you could have instead while, is also really lovely. In contrast, you don't need to. In contrast, the number was, so past tense, because it's 2011, which was, okay, 3 times more. That is absolutely fine. Instead of number, how about the word proportion? So in terms of content, in terms of the structure, absolutely perfect. In terms of what you're saying, absolutely perfect. All I'm going to try and add here is a little bit of the vocabulary. So the word proportion is quite nice instead of number. And remember those registered, recorded, witnessed, that sort of thing, instead of had or was. Good work, both those, really good. Try and keep going. I totally understand if you can't do it. But try, if you have the confidence, try and do it, because I really think you can. But I don't want to make it difficult for you.